Hi everybody, this is Osprey from mychartcoach.com, and in this video we're going to take a look at some of the stocks in the cannabis sector. Okay, first up is Aurora Cannabis, ticker symbol ACBFF. And so yeah, this was a nice move today. It did end up closing above resistance, so this was the move that we were looking for. With RSI over here at 68, there's still some room to run, until it gets above 70 there. And so yeah, today there was a gap up open. So there's a small gap between high of day yesterday and low of day today. That is the red flag on the chart. If it did pull back, that you'd look for that gap to fill. Right now, the break above high close horizontal resistance, the closing price on the 25th, this red line right here, is signaling more upside potential. It also closed above the high from the 25th as well. So now it's going to be all about breaking that 1050 resistance zone. Okay, if you look here at the chart we've been working on, you could see how RSI has been above 70 here before and went up into 90s on past runs. So it does have a lot of juice in the tank here. If you look over here, it's filling the jar back to these levels from back in January. You can see January, this is the basically $11 to $12 zone that we're looking at, the high closes on these two candles here. And so we're looking for a potential run back up here to the closing price on the first week of January, this high close here on the top of this white candle. And then if it could break above that, the all-time high close is right here on the what is that, the 23rd of January. This red line right here, $12. So if it can stay above 1050, stay above 10, it has to turn 10 into support, break above 1050, you're looking at this 11 to 12 zone as the next key levels to break. And what we want to see is a break above that $12 level. It's going to need to turn 12 into support to head higher. If it comes up and it hits the 12 level and fails to break, or it comes in and stalls out here at this 11 to 1125 level, it could take a temporary breather. And so it's going to need to push above those levels and turn them into support to head higher. If you look here at the 15-minute chart for ACBFF, you can see here it had a gap up open today. There's a small gap. A drop down to 994 would fill the gap. Right now it's above the middle Bollinger Band at 1039. If that level were to break, you could see it come down to 10, possibly fill the gap. If you look down here, the 50 simple moving average is at 989, and so that's right there, lined up with the gap fill. So that's the downside risk on a break below the middle Bollinger Band on the 15-minute chart, is a potential drop to the 50 SMA and a gap fill. Okay, so let's look at IGC here. So IGC has been on a nice bounce play here. It pulled back last week and it formed the bearish 3 gap ups reversal pattern. And so yeah, if you caught the video last night, we were looking for a bounce today, and there was a big bounce off of that middle Bollinger Band support level. First up, you can see up here on RSI, it bounced off of 50. You can see it hit 50 here before and bounced. Same thing again. You can see RSI or Fasto bounced right off of 20, off the oversold line. And so yeah, you've got this bounce down here off of the middle Bollinger Band at 404 right now, support zone. As long as that level holds, the uptrend is intact. The gap between low of day on Thursday and high of day on Friday, this gap filled. And so now there's a gap fill. It needs to stay above the top of the gap and above EMA's 4 and 8 there. Basically stay above 653. If it can stay above that 650 level, we're looking for a run up to the second gap here. And the bottom of the gap is just below $8. It's going to need to break through the bottom of the gap and run up to 850 to fill that gap. Fail to break that $8 level, and it could signal a temporary top. When IGC got above EMA 4 back here on the 18th, that signaled to ride. When it dropped below EMA 4 here on the 3rd, that signaled downside risk to head to the sidelines. Now today it's back above EMA 4. If it can hold that level, it's the next signal to ride again. But keep in mind, that is the stop loss level. If it closes below that level, that will signal downside risk, and it could drop back down to test that 4 level. Okay, let's look at Cronus Group. So I showed you MedMen last night. MedMen is actually works with Cronus Group. They're partners, and so Cronus Group has a part of the dispensary market, and so yeah, they're already a key player in the U.S. dispensary market since they've teamed up with MedMen. So keep an eye on Cronus Group. It's retraced back here to a key bounce level. Notice our Fasto down here at 6.2. So it's at extreme oversold levels. It came down here and it's hit the 50-day simple moving average, the green line, currently at 939. If that level holds, that's the reload level for the bounce. Notice it closed above the open. That's a hollow red candle. Even though Cronus Group was down on the day, closed down, it closed above the open. That signals the bulls were loading off of this 50-day simple moving average support zone. Notice the light volume. You know, they walked it down on light volume, and now it's trying to bounce. What you're looking for now tomorrow is a break above EMA 4 at 10.05. A close above that level would be bullish, and we'll be looking for a retrace back up to the 11 level, back up to that middle Bollinger Band. Now, to the downside, if it failed to hold that 50-day simple moving average, that would be a major red flag signaling downside risk, and you could see it drop down here to test the 100 and 200-day simple moving averages. So it's going to be really crucial that it holds that 50-day simple moving average. And then finally here, we're going to look at ALEAF, ALEAF. Nice move today. Congrats to everybody that caught the video last night. Another sweet bounce play. You can see it's back above 70 on RSI. It needs to stay above 70. This stock can head higher above 70 on RSI. Look at this run. Most of that run was with above 70 on RSI. So now that's above, it needs to stay above. Okay, so now you have Fasto above 50 at 60. There's plenty of juice to run it to get up to 80. Notice how it likes to cruise above 80. And so right now what we're looking for is a retrace back up to the closing price here on the 25th. And what we want to see is a close above that level to signal that it wants to head higher. It's going to need to break this 310, it's basically like 309 resistance zone. If it can close above that level, then this 360 zone will be on deck, this all-time high. And so basically if it closes above 310, that's the all-time high close for the stock, and that would set it up for the blue sky breakout. The only resistance would be on this red candle above this 310 level. So it's going to be really important that it's able to break that level. If it fails to, when it's tested, that would signal a temporary top. Notice how it had the descending resistance line. It had this ascending triangle type of pattern, and it broke out above resistance today. So that break above the descending resistance line, it is a green light. It's signaling more upside potential. Notice the nice volume spike today. So yeah, the chart's all set up. It's got a nice move. It just needs to follow through. To the downside, if it were to break EMA 13 at 226, notice how that level's been holding. That would signal downside risk, and you would likely see the middle Bollinger Band at 199 tested. As long as that middle Bollinger Band's holding, the uptrend is intact. Okay, thanks for doing this video. If you'd like to learn more about charts and technical analysis, please come check out the chat. All right, thank you.